Hello and welcome back. Today we have the RIDEN and it is one of the biggest versions. So it is the RD6018 and I have seen some reviews and that is usually the 6006 but I really wanted to play just to see what it does. Um, some say it's a power supply, but it is not. It is a DC-DC converter, and so it's a sort of a switch unit. It's yeah, like a very luxurious buck converter, but it is the version with Wi-Fi. You should be able to connect it with USB also to your computer. So let's try to find out. A lot of people have struggled with the Wi-Fi, so yeah, it was an option of $2, I think. So I did that. Uh, let's see if we can get it work. I hope we can. But of course you need more because this is only the DC-DC converter, so you really need the power supply itself. When I ordered it, it was in a whole package, or you can order in a package, but I didn't do that because usually, even though you have the biggest version, because the 6018 can go up to 60 volts and 18 amps, so that means it's about 1080 watts power. But usually when you buy it in a package, I bought the casing, and if you buy the power supply, then you usually get the 800 watts power supply. And that is not enough if you want to use it in the full capacity. So I ordered one. First I thought, I probably have a power supply, but then I had one here. And this is 150 watts, so it's not even close. And then I thought, I have this big toroid transformer. And well, it gets far because it is like 18 volts and 22 amps. And I have two windings, so at least I can come to 10 volts, so 32 volts and around 20 amps. So that would be possible, but yeah, I prefer to use this in an analog power supply when I do, because it's gonna be switched in the end anyway because of this converter. So in the end, I needed to order extra, and I did it with Linkoya, and it is a nice supplier for power supplies, and they actually made this power supply. Look at this proper packaging. This power supply was made for the RIDEN, so it should fit in the 800 watts box. And let me open it. This one is 1200 watts power. So this is enough for yeah, to power the 1080, because this one can do 65 volts by 18.5 amps. So that's enough, because this one is 60 and 18, so we have a little bit power to spare. I like that. And yeah, it should fit in the casing. Let me show you the casing. I will zoom later on all the parts. And this one, as you can see, this is the S800, and we have another serial number or a type number, S12A. I don't know. S800 seems more logical because that is the 800 watts. That was, in that time they built all these casings. That was the highest model then. And yeah, now it is not. So it comes with all kinds of parts. We look into that later. There's a ventilator and some wires. The wires don't look that thick. So let's see. Maybe I use bigger wires. So let's unpack and I zoom in. Okay, start with the power supply. Well, as you see, it probably will fit in the casing. There is some space, and according to the supplier, it would fit. It was built for this power supply. It even mentioned the name RD6018. So yeah, also if you have a quick look, it really seems that it is possible this would fit with a little bit of the thing in the front. So we put this away, and yeah, this is proper power. Will I need that? Maybe not, but that is not the point. It was just cool to have so much power. So the casing looks really nice. It does come with some accessories. So let's have a look. Okay, well, at least they use enough plastic. The backs I can keep. It has nice rubber feet. There is a European plug, switch on off, and they've put some wires. Let's see what they have. Okay. Yeah, the wires are not necessarily big, but you have two, so it will probably work. I'm not sure, maybe I put bigger if I don't trust it. Not sure what this is for. No, not at all. Maybe for an external ventilator or something. Maybe we find it in the manual. I downloaded some manual, so it does come with some accessories. That is good. Put this away. You see, it is the W version, so that means it is wireless. Here you can find the manual. Well, they have look at Apple how to pack things. Look at this, night white box, properly done. Here is the Wi-Fi module. Let's see if we can get that work. We have two clips, spare fuse, and here, same type of cable. I think this is a temperature thing. Okay. So maybe it will reduce the power when the power supply really gets hot. And that other was just an extension cord. So and this is the unit. It feels heavy. Well, it needs to do more than 1,000 watts. So look how this is built. Probably some feds down there with some active cooling. Huge transformers. And the Wi-Fi module probably goes here. So it does look solid. Here there is one fuse in the bottom. And probably when that blows, you can put a spare in this holder. Yeah, that's one way to do it. And here you can put your temperature sensor. That probably goes on the power supply, because here they can put their own sensor, and they probably did. Let's see what we can find about this. Can we take this out? Yes, we can connect both the wires and put it back. Perfect. And this should fit nicely in here. I will not push it in because I probably will not get it out again. But yeah, it does look like a pretty tight fit. Yes, cool. Same color also. I like it. Okay, well, I have the manual on the computer screen. Yeah, there are different casings available. This one is that you can put the power supply inside, but if you already have a power supply, there is also one that is a lot shorter, like this big. And that one has the banana binding post in the back, so you can just connect it to another switch power supply if you have that. But I prefer to have it in one box, but both are available. Let's see. Yeah, there is here a ventilator, and that goes exactly there. So let's get the middle hole first. Let's see where we are. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Oh, look at that. Lines up perfectly with the ventilator in the back also. And the air will be taken from the bottom, from the sides here. So it's very clear this needs to be the front. And then the power supply itself just sucks in the cold air from the sides and the bottom and blows it out here in the back. Nicely designed. Okay. So let's. Okay, and maybe you want to put somewhere also your earth connection. Or okay, that's already taken care of here. So let me see. It should be the correct length. Yes. Okay, like this. So the first one is the line. So that would be this one. Oh, in that sense, they made the cables already nicely. Then we have the neutral. Okay. And we have the ground wire. Okay. Oh, this temperature wire we don't need, so it can go back to the back. I will put some wraps here. Okay, then we have. Okay, we can put through 3 wires each. So instead of having 2, that was for the 800 watts. Maybe I want 3, but then only thing I need to do is here to put 2 wires in one hole. But then in the end it is only just. Yeah, so let me think, because I can put this here, but I'm thinking of putting different wires, maybe. Okay, I organized a little bit better. I have here with the tie wraps, I put my power cable and the sensor I put on the other side. Then I have a nice separation between the higher voltage and the lower voltage. So that seemed better to me. And well, with the tie wraps also a bit more organized. And instead of using the little cables that came with it, I built my own cables a lot thicker because this casing was built for the 800 watts, not for the 1200 or the 1080. So I'm gonna connect these bigger ones. Look at the difference. So, okay, before I continue, I'm going to install the Wi-Fi module because later I can probably not access that. And I'm a bit afraid if I push the front in, I'm having a hard time getting it out later. You can put a battery here, and that is probably for the clock. And yeah, I don't have that battery because you need to put the 1220, and I don't have that. I only have the standard ones. Well, there's only one way to put this in, so not much else. I don't see buttons you need to push, so I'll just put it in its place. Okay, well, once you install the Wi-Fi module, you can never uninstall it because it is so tight. It fits exactly. Okay, I connected the cables. Yeah, it's a bit thicker, so I was struggling a bit to get it into the screws, but if I push hard enough, it did. So it's a really tight fit. It's very well connected. Well, this should be enough for this 20 amps. I put the temperature sensor also here, and I'm going to push it back in. And they did say that you can adjust the power supply a little bit higher instead of 65 to 67. And there is a little screw there, so I will try that. Yeah, maybe I will do that now without connecting this one, just to see if it even switches on. Okay, it is on. Ventilator is blowing. Oh, it's a bit noisy. I hope the sound will stop at some point. You can even control the feet of the ventilator. Okay, well, it does not go higher than 67. So 67 it is. You cannot put more than 70. So, okay, close. Yeah, connect. Cool. Okay. You want to switch off the power supply because of the noise. That is a pity that the ventilator should just be controlled by temperature. Really. Okay, I'm really disappointed about the noise, but it is nothing from the Ryden. It is really from the power supply. The ventilator of the power supply just always seems to go full power, like from a server, and they don't have any adjustment. It seems so. It's just blowing full power. And maybe if maybe you can hear if I come a bit closer. And I wonder if I close it, that it's maybe more acceptable. Uh, that is a pity. But yeah, I wanted 1200 watts power. Let's see. Maybe if I close, it will be a little bit less noisy. Yes, it is a little bit less. But my God, it is really blowing so hard. Yeah, and then the power switch in the back is not that convenient, but because if I switch it off here, the power supply just keeps going. Yeah. Okay, after it's switched on, really I'm getting annoyed by the noise. You need to go to the menu, shift, menu, enter, then switch to Wi-Fi, enter, enter, off, on, and now we need to do something with the phone. Okay, well, I was thinking doing it with the screen recorder, but I think it's more convenient just to show you because then I can show you here what happens here in the display and here what happens here. I will be starting the up. Now we see something. Well, you just go to here, you fill in your network, and you need to select it only supports 2.4, that you know you are aware. Now it needs to do something. Yes, I see. Okay, select, go. Success, it says. Confirm. Okay, now it should be connected. Connect. Do I need to click OK somewhere? Oh, yeah, it was still going. Ah, okay. Connect. Yes, here it is. It's quite cool. There are a lot of options, a lot of things you see here in the display. You can also see here. If we want to set the voltage, you can just type, say 12, 12, 12. No, it says 12 volts. Output on. Boom. You see the graph also. Okay, before I'm going to close it up, I just want to give you a little peek inside. Here I put my low power temperature sensors, and here I did the wiring, and on the other side here you can see the mains wiring. I put some wraps so it is all nice and straight. The temperature sensor I just put on the top because the temperature is usually at highest in the top. So that's it. Maybe later I'm gonna modify the power supply itself because it is really noisy. So maybe I will just get the wires of the ventilator out and then yeah, make a double speed, or I need to think because it is actually too much noise. So now I was just looking in the manual, and here is the software for the power supply you can download. I already did that. I have that stored here, power supply, RIDEN, and the one that you get, it is a zip file, and well, I can show you if you unzip that. I will unzip that here just in this folder 1, 2, 3, 4. I say yes to all because I just did that. Okay, in this folder here, then you have your RIDEN power supply. If you click that, it will start the program. And it is now blocked. Ah, here it is. And it even says there is a new version. So, cool. Download. In the left corner, we have it downloaded. Okay. Close the software. Unpack the new software, and here is the 109. Okay, we have the latest software. Now, before I plug it in, as I usually do, I check my device manager in the COM ports to see what port will be added. So I put in the cable, and COM5 is extra. So now we know when we start the program, we need to select COM5. Well, it is now to 1, and it's taking some time. Maybe it's detecting the COM port or checking for updates. So we just need to wait for this. Okay, now we select the correct COM port, COM5. Well, it's the address 1 because we have only one, and then we say connect. And now it is connected, yes. Can we make it bigger? Whoa, look at this. What else we can do? It is running 1.34. I don't know if that's the latest. What can we do? We can do some programming here. Okay, looks cool. Another communication protocol that we don't have. Firmware update. Okay, we already have the latest firmware, and the latest firmware was from December 2020. But if there is a firmware, we will probably see that appear here. And I see here startup logo. So that's kind of cool. We can add our own picture in the screen. Change now the logo to the correct pixels. Here it is. Import, I think. Oh, now we see something happening in the display. So I have it now in the full screen, and I've lost the connection again. So after that, sometimes it just loses its connection. Okay, it seems to be connected. Let's put the outputs on. My Kunkin is connected. It is 1 amp. So let's see what it does. Okay, the green line is the voltage, and here we have the blue, it's the amps. So let's put a little bit more amps. 2 amps. Here it goes. You can see perfectly, and here you can also see how much watts it is producing. 3 amps. Let's go to 5. Well, it's still holding up very nicely. Let's go to 10 amps. My Kunkin says it's 200 watts. Where I see that? Oh, that's here. That was the battery charging. Here it says 200 watts. Okay, Let's go to 15 amps. You see nicely the graph go up. 300 watts. My Kunkin can only go up to 400 watts. But let's go to the maximum of the power supply, 18 amps, and I'm on 20 volts. So that's 360 watts. It is still holding up very nicely. Okay, nice. Switch off the output and it drops. Okay, we built it. We put the custom logo in, and the test what I did with the load, I want to show you now how it works in practice. So here the noise goes. I uploaded the picture. Here it is. It is set back to USB because it seems that the Wi-Fi is really working on the device that you installed it on. And I tried to do it also on my iPad, but then I need to disconnect it from my phone. So that was not necessarily very useful. But also it's much too noisy. So I will make a modification for that another time. But just let's see the power. I will zoom in. So it's doing now 1 amp, 20 volts. As you can see here also it's 1 amp. I made a cable for this because before I didn't work with this high currents. So 20 volts, 1 amp. I'll go to 2 amps. You can see also how much power it is doing. 2 amps. Yeah, they are more or less agree. Let's see if we go to 18 amps. Indeed, 18 amps. But what if we go a little bit higher? And I was surprised about this because if I do now a little bit more, like 19, it completely drops the voltage. And it says indeed 18 amps, but I don't understand why the power completely goes out, because if we go one lower, then it agrees. So why doesn't it stay? So it is more like, so instead of being on constant current, it seems to be that it is more like in overprotection, like the OCP. So, well, we play a little bit. The constant current mode, maybe I cannot test correct with this one, but it seemed to me more like it was an overprotection, like the OCP, instead of keeping the constant current, because it was immediately dropping all the voltage, and it indeed didn't go above 18 amps, so that was good. But even if I put this one to go to yeah, maybe this one is just dropping because this is also an electronic load. Maybe this one is really dropping his resistance to try to get to 19 amps. And then this one doesn't allow that. So it needs to drop its voltage. So maybe it's just because they are both electronic that it didn't work at all. I switch it off. I cannot even think. I really need to make a modification for this. So that's it, the build of the RIDEN RD6018, and we connected the Wi-Fi, installed the software, uploaded even a logo, and I showed you where you can update the firmware if it is available. So we went to most of the steps. We quickly did a load test, and yeah, it seems all fine. I will later make another video about the modification of the ventilator in the power supply unit itself, because it is really noisy, and not a little bit noisy, it is really noisy. So I can really not use it like this. But I have this temperature sensors. I have the different type of temperature sensors. One is a thermostat with a digital display. You can set to a specific temperature, but also I have a few fixed ones, and I just need to see how I use them. If I have the correct temperatures, otherwise I need the variable one, and I will put that with the resistor to the ventilator, and then when it comes above a certain temperature, that it just short circuits the resistor, and then it goes full power. Then if you use it in low power, then you don't need to be in the noise. Something like that. I need to think more in detail. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time.